With the holidays quickly approaching, the HTC EVO Design 4G is Sprint's and HTC's latest attempt to tackle the mid-range smartphone market. With 4G WiMAX, a premium unibody design, and excellent user experience, can the HTC EVO Design 4G appease both those who are price conscious this holiday season as well as power users who may look for more higher-end, high-featured specs? I'm Chung Wen for Notebooks.com, and join me in this video review of the HTC EVO Design 4G on the Now Network. The HTC EVO Design 4G, pictured here second from the left, joins Sprint's expanding portfolio of 4G smartphone as well as HTC's growing family of EVO phones built for Sprint. From left to right, here we have the HTC EVO Shift 4G, which, as its name implies, has a shifting screen that slides up in landscape orientation to reveal a full QWERTY keyboard. This phone has a 3.8-inch WVGA display. Next here, we have the HTC EVO Design 4G, which has a 4-inch Super LCD screen with a QHD resolution of 540 by 960. We'll go over the complete specs and details of the phone in just a minute. And to the right of that, we have the HTC EVO 3D, which succeeds the HTC EVO 4G on Sprint's network. This phone has a larger 4.3-inch display compared to the 4-inch on the EVO Design 4G, with the same QHD 540 by 960 resolution. Additionally, the HTC EVO 3D has an auto stereoscopic 3D screen, which is a glasses-free 3D display, along with the capability to record and capture 3D pictures and video using the dual camera lenses on the back of the phone. And then to the right of that, we have the HTC EVO View 4G, which is a 7-inch tablet with a resolution of 1024 by 600 pixels. This tablet uses Android Gingerbread and has the same HTC Sense experience as that found on the HTC EVO 3D, as well as the new HTC EVO Design 4G. Let's go ahead and take a look at the HTC EVO Design 4G in greater detail. Here we have the HTC EVO Design 4G sitting right next to its retail packaging box. The retail box is typical Sprint yellow and gray, and once you lift up the top, you'll see here's the tray where the HTC EVO Design 4G will sit in when the phone is shipped. Once you pull open the tray, you do have access to a number of little quick start getting started manuals, which will help you use your phone in a jiff. You also have a nice postage prepaid recycling envelope where you can go ahead and send in your old phone or smartphone for recycling to help conserve the environment and to prevent electronic waste from ending up in our landfills. You also have just two accessories which come with the phone. The first is the AC wall charger, which will plug into the phone via a USB port right here at the top. You also have the supplied USB charge and sync cable, where you can plug the USB end into the wall charger or into the computer to charge and synchronize information with the phone. There's also a micro USB end that plugs into the phone that way as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the phone itself. The HTC EVO Design 4G utilizes HTC Sense user interface on top of Android 2.3.3 Gingerbread. The phone has a 4-inch Super LCD display with a very high resolution QHD 960 by 540 resolution. The display resolution is the same as that found on the HTC EVO 3D, but is packed on a tighter 4-inch display, so you'll notice that pictures are a little bit sharper than when it's distributed over a 4.3-inch display of the HTC EVO 3D. The EVO 3D also has an auto stereoscopic screen, so you can use the screen to view 3D images and videos without glasses. Back to the HTC EVO Design 4G, you'll notice here at the top between where the glass screen ends and the bezel begins here, you'll notice that there's a little port here which shows the ambient light sensor, which automatically dims and brightens the screen depending on the lighting condition around you, along with a proximity sensor which helps to turn off the screen when you're in the middle of a phone call to prevent accidental screen touches. Up top, you do have an earpiece speaker, which integrates here towards the left-hand side a little LED light indicator, which will notify you if you have any new incoming notifications. The light will blink, but as there are no new notifications right now, the light isn't on or blinking. To the right of the earpiece speaker, you do have a front-facing camera, which can be used for self-portrait camera shots or for video conferencing. Onto the right-hand side of the phone, you'll notice that it is a rather clean design. You'll notice that the front and the upper side bezel continues and wraps around to the center back piece here, which encompasses HTC's unibody aluminum design, which will show an excellent fit, finish, and feel in your hands. The phone's compact 4-inch display will feel a lot better to those with smaller hands and will fit comfortably, allowing you to use the phone single-handedly in one hand so that you can reach across the entire screen with your thumb. On the bottom of the phone, you do have a voice cancel, or you do have your microphone here at the bottom, and wrapping around to the left-hand side at the bottom, you do have that micro USB charge and sync port, and up top you do have the volumes up and down toggle. At the top of the phone, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack along with a voice cancellation microphone and also the power button, which also puts the display to sleep. Around back, you have a 5-megapixel autofocus camera with a single LED flash. The camera can also record videos in 720p HD resolution at 30 frames per second, and you also have a loud speaker here at the back for listening to music or for speakerphone calls. On the backhand side, in the middle here, you do have that part of the unibody aluminum design that wraps around to the back. The top and the bottom pieces are made from a soft touch rubberized plastic material. The top piece stays put while the bottom piece is removable, giving you access to a number of things underneath the phone. To remove the back battery cover, it is a little bit difficult, but you just have to squeeze in and pull out. What you'll notice here is that to the right-hand side, if you're holding the phone upside down, or left-hand side, if you're holding it up the right way, you do have an 8GB micro SDHC card. The phone will support up to a 32GB micro SDHC card slot, and here, once you pull up this tab, you can remove a battery which is rated at 1520 milliamp hour, which actually performs rather well with the phone despite its smaller size. Underneath here, you do have a small SIM card, so you do need to remove the battery to have access here to the SIM card. This phone is a world 3G, 4G phone. In the US, it will work on Sprint's CDMA EVDO network on 3G or 4G WiMAX. Abroad, it will work on GSM and HSPA networks. Let's go ahead and power on the phone. The phone itself has a single core 1.2 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon S2 processor, along with about 768 megabytes of RAM. Internal storage is rated at 4 GB, so you do have 4 GB plus the 8 GB that comes preloaded with the micro SD card slot under the rear battery cover. Like the HTC EVO 3D, this phone comes with HTC Sense user interface, and the HTC Sense is rated at version 3.0, which gives you a number of features. We'll go ahead and explore HTC Sense once the phone finishes loading. Now that the HTC EVO Design 4G has finished loading, you can see that there's a green LED indicator that's blinking from within the earpiece speaker bar here at the top, alerting us that there is a notification awaiting our attention. Let's go ahead and turn on the display and get into the HTC Sense 3.0 user interface. Once you turn it on here, I've set the lock screen to show the weather. You see a little bit of animation here where the clouds are flying in at us to show that it is a cloudy night in San Jose, California. To the bottom of that, you do have 4 shortcut buttons which will automatically jump into any of those applications if you drag the shortcut into this magnifier loop. So if we go ahead and drag the camera into the loop, you automatically open up the camera interface without having to first unlock your phone. So this is a nice touch. HTC's camera here is a 5 megapixel camera, and you do have a number of scenes and adjustments giving you effects to your different shots. It's the standard camera that's found on the HTC EVO 3D minus the glasses-free 3D experience, as this only has a single lens camera. If you hit the menu button, you have access to the ISO setting, white balance, and other settings that aren't found on typical native stock Android cameras. So this is a nice touch, but it isn't as advanced as some of the newer phones on HTC's lineup, including the HTC Amaze 4G. To the home screen, if you want to unlock directly to the home screen, you can go ahead and pull this loop up to the center rather than pulling any of the customizable shortcuts into the loop, and this will give you access to your home screen. The interface is similar to that employed on the HTC EVO 3D in that you have a pseudo 3D interface here. Once you start switching between different home screen panels, you can see the gears and the 3D image on the clock. If you scroll fast, or rather quickly, you notice that there's a carousel interface like on the HTC EVO 3D. This is nice because it allows you to jump from the first to the last home screen and then back to the first home screen again without having to go in reverse. Also, if you want to view all your home screens at the same time from your main home screen, you could just hit the home button and it will show you all 7 different home screen panels. HTC included a number of customizable applications along with Sprint, so you do have access to removing or uninstalling some, but not all of them. Let's go ahead and open up the app drawer and see what's included. The HTC camera and calendar apps are customized, so that's designed for the phone itself and is slightly different than that found on stock Android and provides a little bit of polish to the phone itself. You do have access to a number of Sprint applications, including Sprint Zone, Sprint TV, Telenav GPS Navigator, and Sprint Music. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the pre-included HTC widgets. Here's the browser widget, which will show you different screenshots for different shortcuts that you have programmed. A friend stream, which integrates nicely with Twitter and Facebook to allow you to have a continuous stream of what's happening around you. Here's the HTC Music widget. It comes pre-bundled with a number of songs and albums. So let's go ahead and you can go ahead and take a look at the different albums here. I'm going to turn down the media volume, but you do have an option to have an equalizer setting for when headphones are plugged in, or an SRS enhancement, which makes the audio sound a little bit richer than if you had the SRS turned off. Let's go ahead and take a look at our phone interface. So there is smart dialing. I'm not going to go ahead and dial any numbers because it will show you my contacts numbers up top, but this is the basic phone interface. All in all, HTC Sense 3.0 is basically what we've seen before on the HTC EVO 3D and on other current generation HTC smartphones. The nice thing about the People widget is that once you open up the contacts here, at the top of the screen it will show you, here's my friend's Caroline's contact information at the top of the screen, which I'm not going to show you. It will pull all her social networking updates as well. So you can go ahead, here's her Twitter profile update, and you can go ahead and have access to her Facebook and Twitter profiles if you click on those links. There's a little slider carousel here at the bottom, so the next one, if I had any text messages with Caroline, it will show up here, so it will archive all my texts with her if I had any sent, so I can see it all in one place. So it's a nice little conversation piece here, so I can keep track of my chats with Caroline via SMS. Moving over, you have the email archive, so it shows any emails that I have exchanged with Caroline. And then moving over to the next one is the Facebook or Twitter status updates and other event notifications, if any. And then the next one over will pull all of Caroline's pictures and albums, so I can go ahead and quickly take a look at what Caroline has taken and posted to Facebook. And then a call history. So it will show if I had any calls or missed calls with Caroline to keep track of all my call logs with just that particular person. So you do have that little integration there that makes you examine your communications more closely and help you keep track of the people you keep in contact with the most. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video and see what my concluding thoughts about the HTC EVO Design 4G are. Now that we have taken a look at the HTC EVO Design 4G from a hardware and software perspective, how does the smartphone perform in real-world usage? And also, how does the phone compare to others in its class and also above its class in performance? The $99 on a 2-year contract price point for the HTC EVO Design 4G is priced aggressively for a mid-range smartphone. However, despite its mid-range classification, this phone also packs in a lot of high-end features, including a 4-inch Super LCD display that's both vivid and crisp indoors and outdoors and provides for a very high-resolution performance. The same resolution is employed also on Sprint's flagship HTC EVO 3D. The device also has a unibody aluminum construction, so it does feel very solid and good in the hands, and the metal piece wraps around to the back. Additionally, it is aided in the design feature with a soft touch rubberized plastic material here at the top and bottom, which not only helps the phone feel good in your hands and prevent it from slipping out of your hands inadvertently thanks to the rubberized material, but also the plastic parts here at the top and bottom help to improve reception on the phone, so it does help with the phone signal. The HTC EVO Design 4G utilizes the HTC Sense 3.0 environment, which helps to greatly improve the Android user experience for beginners. It packs in a lot of widgets and applications and customizations that will help users feel at home with the handset, and you can easily personalize the handset thanks to the personalization option here at the bottom, which will allow you to quickly set your scene, which will adjust all of your wallpapers, ringtone settings on the phone, or you can just change the wallpaper, the skin, and the lock screen. Speaking of lock screen, the same quick access to application lock screen with the 4 shortcuts here at the bottom along with some fluid animations help to add a little pizzazz to the phone itself. What makes this a mid-range smartphone despite having a lot of these features that are shared in common with the HTC EVO 3D is that it is first priced at just $99 on a 2-year contract, and second packs in only a single core 1.2 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon S2 CPU. What does that actually mean? Well, in real world performance, you're not going to actually see any performance hit. The HTC Sense interface performs well, and you can see that it is not only fluid and dynamic, applications launch quick, and there is no lag or delays in launching applications. High-end games perform rather well, and you won't see any performance hit there. What you will notice is that when you're looking at benchmark scores, you will see that the HTC EVO Design 4G performs slower in benchmark than some of its high-end counterparts, such as the Samsung Galaxy S2 Epic Touch 4G on Sprint's network, or the dual-core 1.2 GHz Snapdragon processor employed by the HTC EVO 3D flagship smartphone on the Now network. What I can actually say is that performance is actually on par with or above that of its class. The phone itself is fluid, fast, and dynamic. The improved build quality and design of the HTC EVO Design 4G, with its slimmer finish and premium unibody aluminum, just feels great in the hands. The 5 megapixel camera is on par with others of its class. The camera did produce some oversaturated colors in some of our pictures and tests, but it actually is a good camera for its class, which is a 5 megapixel camera. All in all, the HTC EVO Design 4G could be rated at about 8.5 stars on a 10-star rating scale. I would highly recommend this smartphone to those who are budget conscious or who don't need the extra processor, who aren't power users, because this is just an excellent smartphone for its price and performance doesn't take a hit. I'm Chung Win for Gotta Be Mobile and Notebooks.com. Join me next time in another smartphone video review.